Hi, this is Ken from Wormhole Riders in San Francisco. And today we have the honor of being with Alex, it's Barone, right? That's the correct
That's right.
pronunciation, Alex? Um,
Yep.
who you know as Bottles on the great show Mayans MC. Alex joined the cast in season 5 during the pivotal last season. And we're also here today with Lori Glumac, who is our senior editor and producer in San Francisco. And he put some glasses on for us. They're not the famous Bottles glasses, but we'll talk about that later. uh, Alex, we're really honored that you're here. A lot of people really enjoy your character, and I'd like to ask you to start out. How did you decide to pursue a career in the entertainment industry?
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. You're right, these aren't the real deal, but I did one of these in the audition, so they did get me the part.
Oh,
Um, yeah, I moved out to Los Angeles about 8 years ago from Baltimore, Maryland. Grew up on the East Coast and moved out here to pursue acting and the roller coaster of the acting industry. And what got me into it in the first place was kind of being born a little different. I was born missing a couple digits on my hands, and feeling like really insecure as a kid. And then when I was in high school, sort of developing or finding, I guess, like theater and feeling more confident in myself and kind of like I could portray other characters and get outside of my own skin a little bit. So I kind of just ran with that and was always told if you want to make it, you have to move to either LA or New York. And LA was further from home, and I thought it'd be more of a risk. So I did that, and here I am.
Well, we're glad that you're here because you brought a new element to the Mayans in what's going to be a very serious season. As a matter of fact, last week's episode, the body bag count, I think is the highest I've ever had of Mayans in one episode. So we
Yeah.
hope we hope Bottle survives. And folks, of course, no spoilers here. We've got 3 more episodes to go. Um, Alex, you've also, before you got settled into acting, particularly this role as Bottles, and you can let the fans know, Bottles. What's the character's real name?
His real name is Alex Castillo, but he only goes by Bottles
Alex
in the club.
Castellano.
Yeah, Castellanos.
Okay. Well, okay.
Castellanos. It's very easy, Ken. Come on.
And I should know that since
You
my
got it. You got
relatives
it.
are from Spain. Okay, before acting, you got involved with writing and producing entertainment products. Um, will you continue these efforts in the future?
Yeah, yeah. When I first moved here, I produced and wrote a show called A Little Different, which was produced by Eli Roth, the
Oh,
director,
nice.
and we people with some sort of really cool disability or abnormality or difference like myself, but have a special talent, and we would showcase that talent. And I was the host of it. And part of the fun of the show was that they would be so good at this talent and I would fail at the talent. So it was a lot of fun trying what they were doing, like flying planes with feet or riding motorcycles with one leg and all this cool stuff that we had our guests do. So that was a blast. That was the first time I had produced something and created something on my own. So yeah, I would love to pursue. I think it's super important for all actors and people in the industry to always be creating and writing and doing their own thing for sure.
Well, there's a lot that it looks like there's a lot that you've done before here we are in 2023. Uh, you have been involved in several other things that you produced, 5 as I can see here. Uh, in specific, something a little different, Real Scares, 1 Minute Horror, and Tommy and Bobby. And then it looks like around 2019 is when you made your pivot to acting. Is that fairly accurate?
I don't know if I made my pivot. I just think it takes a minute to kind of find your groove and to like I was saying earlier, it's a roller coaster of an industry. So it's not like I started then, but maybe that's when things started picking up a little bit and finally paying off as far as auditioning and networking and landing roles. But yeah, it's been a very great past few years.
Okay, well, Alex, I'm going to turn the questioning over to Lori. Lori is the one. She's our resident Mayans expert. Okay, when I
Sweet.
can't figure
I don't know
things
about
out,
expert, but okay.
well, yeah, you know more than I do. So I'm going to turn the questioning over to Lori. Lori, please take it away.
Thank you. So Alex, what
Hey.
was your audition like for Mayans MC?
The audition was really fun. It was the scene was in episode 1 when Bottles and Nestor are carrying the crates and Wero and Downer are kind of giving him shit. That was the scene. And I had my writing partner actually. His name's Kurt Yeager. He's from Sons of Anarchy. He played Greg the Peg, and we always help each other out with our auditions. And he gave me a good little tip to do in the audition with the glasses and really making the most out of the glasses, since Bottles' his main thing was his glasses, and that was his defining kind of look. So we had fun with it. We did a couple takes and then sent it in, and then I heard like maybe 3-4 weeks later about it.
Well, that
Yeah,
the
with
fun thing
auditions.
is, go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that actually segues into question 4 was, when did you know that you became Bottles? So how long did you find out? And you said what, 3 to 4 weeks, something like that?
Yeah, something like that, 3 to 4 weeks. It's funny with this industry because you audition maybe sometimes like 3-4 times a week if you're lucky. And then you kind of got to trick your brain into just forgetting about it right away so you don't get hung up on it. And like I was obviously crazy about playing Bottles and I wanted to play Bottles, but sometimes if you don't get the part, then it can drive you crazy. Like, gosh, I wish I got that. I wish I got that. I try to forget about it. So it was a super nice surprise hearing a few weeks later about it. Yeah, super awesome.
Okay, so between Bottles and Nestor, who do you think will get their patch first and why?
I think Nestor deserves to get his patch first. he's been helping the club out for quite a while now, and it's his time for sure. So hopefully he gets that. Bottles is the new guy. I think he's still got to earn his stripes a little bit, which he is. He's getting there, but Nestor for sure first. He deserves it.
And Gino Vento's such a great guy anyway, so it
Yeah,
makes
the
sense.
best.
Who does Bottles admire the most among the Santo Padre Mayans?
Among the Mayans currently, I think he's got like a good friendly sweets for Angel. I think he really looks up to Angel. I think Angel's got a lot of the things that Bottles admires as far as being a club member, with family and doing anything for the club, and also just having like that kind of sweet side. I think Bottles can relate to that. He's all in, but he still has a like a good sweet head on conscious on his head. So I think Angel. I think as far as friendship goes, I think him and Wero are like the same age and kind of new-ish to the club. So I think they get along pretty well.
Nice. If you were to look into the future of Mayans, where do you see Bottles in the club?
I see Bottles just running shit. No, I think he'll do whatever it takes to kind of keep the club afloat. I think he'll continue to kind of be like a good force among the Mayans. Meaning like I think he'll always want to do good by the club and never go bad. So yeah, wherever he is, hopefully he's hanging out with Sister Anne and Elio.
The Bottles character seems a bit softer than other Mayans. Why is that?
I think Bottles is a little soft because as you see in episode 4, no spoilers, but he's had a past, a lot of surgeries.
Mhm.
And I think that kind of makes it, like you said in the episode, it's like he's dealt with so much shit in his life growing up that these things in Mayans and Lobo, maybe bullying him and all this stuff doesn't really affect him as much or phase him because he's already been through the ringer. So I think that kind of makes him a little softer and gentle than the other ones. But
Yeah.
Well,
he's
there's
I
smart.
just to chime in on that, Lori, there's also another character that you have developed a rapport with, and that's Elio, your cohort in crime in the fentanyl factory. So,
Yeah.
and you guys are soft.
Amigo. That's my
Uh,
amigo.
well, and there's one other that oh no, I'll wait till later for that. So go ahead, Lori. Sorry.
Well, no, I was just gonna say I actually wrote a review about that particular episode you were talking about, the episode 4, and was it actually, this might be a follow-up question, but I know that in your real life you've had all of that happen. Was
Mhm.
that intentionally written, or was that something that you had suggested to the writers to add?
Yeah, it was well, the writers are so great on the show, as you know, and they're
Mhm.
very I think they're always watching and listening to the actors on set, and
Mhm.
I'm sure a lot of real life things have been written in from the actors into their characters.
Mhm.
This was early on when I had talked to Elgin and about bottles and about my real life and everything. I think it was just something that was out there and that they ran with, but they did ask me if it would be okay because my whole thing was I didn't want my
Mhm.
own past to be like a sad thing that was thrown on the character because usually
Right.
a lot of the times in TV and film somebody with a difference it's written as it comes off as sad or written as sad and
Right.
that's not realistic to my life. I don't feel sad and I feel like if anything more badass because of everything I've been
Right.
through. So
Yeah.
I told that to Elgin and Elgin's like fuck yeah,
Yeah. Well,
so
it's
they're
a badge of honor. I mean, you, like you said, you survived, you've lived through hell and back, and it's
right.
kind of almost like a badge of honor. I've survived. If I can survive that, I can survive anything to a certain extent. So,
Absolutely.
okay. So last of my questions. If a spin-off series was developed, would you be willing to reprise your role as Bottles?
100%. Absolutely. Let's go.
Well, Ken keeps talking about what is it? Broken? I always say Broken Saints, but it's Broken Angels.
It's
I don't know
Broken
why.
Saints. No, it's
Broken
Broken
It is
Saints.
Saints.
broken.
Yeah.
See, okay,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got it right the first time. I always say Broken Angels, then I guess, but yeah, he thinks that
Well,
there's
yeah,
going to be a spinoff, but we'll see.
my opinion, Alex is, and Lori and I, the fans, we talk on Twitter after the episodes, obviously for hours, and the next day people are going back and forth. But my opinion has been that the Broken Saints
Mm.
will become the next spinoff series. Now, not right away, because Soldiers of Sons of Anarchy took what was it? Was it 4 years? Wasn't it, Lori, before
I
they
think
came
so,
up with
yeah.
Mayans? And so I think the creative talent wants to take a break, but we believe since that's why we kind of put this question in there. We believe since you're now out with Johnny Panic at the ranch,
Mm.
that Bottles could show up with Johnny and the other people at the Broken States. And I have another, hypothesis. Who is Mother? Johnny Panic
Mm.
mentioned, or one of Johnny Panic's cadre said, "Will Mother approve of this?" So again, it's just me being me. I think Alex Barone is going to show up. Bottles are going to show up in the future, maybe in 2025 or 2026 in a
Mm.
Broken Saints because I think they need it. So I'm going to go off on a. I know you can't discuss any spoilers. There's only 3 episodes left, but I'm going to ask you point blank: have you been able to see all the last episodes without revealing any details, or are you just as much in the blind as we are?
Yeah, I'm in the blind. I'm watching it week by week with you guys. So I have not seen them. no, I'm excited though. I think final 3 episodes will be a ride for sure. And I love what you're saying about the Broken Saints. I think there's so much to them and their backstory, and I'd be interested in hearing and finding out who Mother is too. And they have their whole world, so it'd be amazing to see that happen.
Well, we're going to find out because, as Lori knows, okay, Lori knows the series better than I do, and she knows more of the backstory on Sons. So when that was mentioned, I was like, about every week I was asking, like, could it be this? Could it be Mrs. Buscar? Could it be this? Could it be this? Could it be this? And she'd say, no, I don't think so, Ken. And I even went back to one of the Sons characters that was killed, and she said, well, it can't be her because she was shot in the head.
Yeah, he mentioned Gemma. I'm like, I don't think it's Gemma. I doubt it's Gemma,
Right.
but
It'd be an interesting twist,
that would
but
be an
I
interesting
think she's
twist,
pretty
yeah.
dead.
So, my belief is that Elgin and maybe Kurt will come back with another series, and I'm pleased to hear. Look, I have enjoyed Bottles because it's kind of the Bottles story arc with Elio and Gino Vento has been kind of a nice relief factor from the war. Have you enjoyed that part of the interaction, Bottles, with the not being directly in the war?
Yeah, I love both of those amigos, and I think the fact that the prospects are a little separate and have to lock things down at the clubhouse does keep them in a way, I think, clear-minded and good in a sense. And yeah, it's been really nice. Yeah, I agree.
On the set, this is going to be the last direct Mayans question. On the set, I know because we've been reporting on entertainment products for over 15 years, and actually it goes back a quarter century. We started with the Stargate series and have done set visits and all that stuff. So we know that the actors and a lot of the people that are on the sets are waiting around for the set to be, the scene to be set up and the details. So what do you do? What do you do while you're waiting for your scenes? Are you guys like doing any pranks or, what's happening while you're waiting?
You know what we're doing? Honestly, we're doing handstands. I have about 100 videos of us doing handstands, especially Andrew and I, who plays Wero. We'll do handstands on set because you're right. There's a lot of time in between. They also have a gym, fortunately, that they kept on set. So Gino, myself, and Andrew will just work out to get pumped up, to keep the energy up and to feel hyped. So mostly that, or eating, because they have amazing food, the caterers, and talking to everybody, chilling, going from set to set or trailer to trailer and bouncing around, just catching up with everyone. But it's been a blast. You go through withdrawal, or I did after it's over, because you develop such good friendships and relationships with everybody, and they do become real brothers and or sisters, and just super grateful for this whole experience.
Well, I think Lori and I and millions of fans would agree that Mayans is one of the best stories of real life that has been on the air, I'd say, in the last decade. I mean, there's a lot of fine entertainment, okay? But Mayans has brought forth, Lori, wouldn't you agree? Mayans has brought forth the social turmoil, the border crisis, the drug crisis, all this stuff. And it's hard for me to believe that it's going away in 3 weeks. How about you, Alex?
Yeah, I think, absolutely. It's like everything you mentioned, plus just the heart of, like, I think family and brotherhood they've really kept alive within the show, which is special and unique. And I don't think, just like I'm sure people felt when Sons was ending, it's like, how could it? But then this other world came from it. I am hopeful, like you said, that more things will come from it. I don't think the world is over. So So we'll see, but it'll never die. It'll live on. Mayans will live on.
And I also love the fact that it's a showcase for Latino actors too, which is great because it's kind of
Absolutely.
putting it. It's one of the very few series that actually features, and I think it's an actually completely Latino
Yeah.
cast and writers, etc., on there, and that's what I love, and the fact that it's a lot of women writers too, which is great, and directors, which is awesome as well. I mean, the Allison Anders episode, this last one,
Oh yeah,
is
she's amazing.
literally my
Yeah.
favorite episode of the entire series. It was just exquisite in all
Yeah.
aspects. And as a director myself, I look for um those kind of details that she had come out. But what you were saying also about the brotherhood, it's very Shakespearean, it's very Greek tragedy. I mean, there's all these elements in there, which is
Yes.
what Kurt is known for and Elgin is known for, is those kind of epic sweeping stories. But it's great. And I also love the new opening too, that shows all of the different aspects of Latino culture and what
Oh yeah.
they had to go through in order to get to where they are today. So it's such a wonderful showcase for that too.
Yeah, they're so good at authenticity, like you said, and Elgin bringing these stories to life and keeping it real and raw and authentic from the Latino perspective, and also just full circle thing with myself with having a difference and not letting that be a driving force of the character, but a rad part of the story. And I
Yeah.
think that's what he does, and I think it shines on screen, this authenticity in his writing.
There's no doubt about that. Well, we're going to wind down here, Alex. And there was one character that I wanted to ask you about before I go to my next question that I think would be your favorite and everybody's favorite on the set, and that's Sally the dog.
She's the
Is,
best. She's the best
is
co-star.
she a favorite? Because we see her from time to time, and a couple scenes we get to see her running around, and but what do you get to talk to her and play with her when she's not on set?
I do. Yeah, she's a sweetheart. She's the best co-star. I do hope I think her and Bottles started off at a rocky start, but they surely do become more and more so friends. Her real name is Princess. She's a great dog. Her owner is fabulous as well, and it's just so surprising to me how, as humans, it's tough being on set, and how a dog appears so much smarter. Like Princess is great on set, and she gets around and she does her work, and then she dips out. She's super professional. But she's an actor just like us. So she comes in, she does her thing, and she's hanging off on the side, and then when she wraps up, she wraps up. But she's been the best. I love Sally. Who doesn't
It's
like Sally?
it's also a good thing too that because she's a pit bull, it's not
Yeah,
there's no stigma with that, because I know normally with pit bulls there's that huge stigma of they're aggressive, they're this and that, where
aggressive.
all we've
Right.
seen of Sally is just this sweet, beautiful, wonderful companion, which is awesome. So that kind of shows it
Yeah.
her in a different light too.
She's so sweet. And I have such a huge appreciation and respect for, like, I just didn't know the world of uh, stunts and animals prior to this. And but fortunately, through this final season, I've been able to like work with the stunts and the dogs and everything so much. So it's just been a great learning experience and admiration for them and their trainers.
Okay.
Right.
What what advice would you give Alex? And say you've come from the East Coast to the West Coast, you've written, you've produced, and now you've got a recurring role that's in the pivotal fifth season. What advice would you give to people starting out to help inspire them to become actors?
To become it's one of those industries like music, or I guess really anything. It takes a lot of like persistence and belief in yourself, but that's not enough. Like you have to do all the other things as far as networking and putting yourself out there and being vulnerable and kind of almost like creating your own brand in a way, and just putting it out there, and having the right amount of craziness in your brain to want to pursue something like this for a lifetime. So I think, like, A, be you and always be you no matter what. But B, just keep like being persistent. Don't look back. Continue to do it. It's going to be hard. Everyone's going to tell you no. You're going to have to go through 1,000 auditions before you get a yes. You know, and just don't give up. Just keep doing it. It's like a love affair with this industry that you have to have, and can't cheat on or can't do anything. You just gotta love it forever and keep doing it.
Thank you for that.
So yeah, I think that would be my advice. But I'm still figuring it out myself, and it's a roller coaster, and it's a lifetime thing. So, but I'm in it for the long haul.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you in your next role, which leads us to our final question. After Mayans, what's next for you, Alex? Is there anything that you're working on that you can talk about, or do you have aspirations that you'd like to do that aren't ready to be talked about yet? What's next for you, Alex?
Yeah, thank you. I think, well, there's a writer's strike right now.
Yeah.
When that ends and when we come to agreements and all that, then I do have a role in a feature film coming up. I don't know if I can talk about it because of everything happening right now, but
No,
it's
probably
something
best not to. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that, and then the sky's the limit. I don't know. It'd be nice to get that Mayan spinoff, or no, or just something like Bottles. Bottles was a dream character, and something that I could be passionate about and dig my fingers into would be nice for the next role.
Well, Lori and I, like I say, Lori almost shuts her phone off after the episode because I call almost every week.
I love that. You guys have
I count the seconds. I'm like 5, 4, 3, 2. There we go.
Hey, what's up, Ken?
Yeah, exactly, pretty much.
Well, Lori and I met. Lori joined Wormhole Writers about 12, 13 years ago. And
wow. Are you guys both in San Francisco?
I am, yeah.
Yes,
awesome.
We are. We have people all around the world that have worked for us, and we cover mainly series and conventions. And we started just briefly in science fiction, but Lori was always talking to me about Mayans, right? And I said, okay, bring us up to speed, and then we'll do season 4 and season 5. And but we covered it because we have followed actors who came from the science fiction genre into other series, and many of them movies and in shows like Mayans, and in 2 in particular. J.D. Pardo came from a show called Revolution, which was broadcast on NBC about 10 years ago. And then Sarah Bolger has been in a couple of sci-fi flicks. And I said, okay, I got to do this. These are great actors. Oh, and of course, the king, Edward James Olmos as Felipe Reyes from Battlestar Galactica and so many.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and Emilio too, right? It was an Emilio in Z Nation. That's sci-fi.
I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
And then I mean, pretty much all of them. And then of course you can't forget J.R. Bourne. I mean.
Oh, J.R. Bourne, Stargate. Yeah.
Duh. Ken.
And
man.
Look, we've teased on Twitter about Isaac. I mean, I can't imagine how they're going to wrap everything up, but I would invest in body bags, because there's going to be more, don't you think, Alex? I mean, no spoilers, but if it's in the Sun's world, I mean, we're going to lose a few more people.
Well, the war's still on. I think there's got to be bloodshed in any war, even to wrap it up, to finish a war. There's going to be blood, so we'll see. Yeah. I'm excited.
Well, it is. We're excited. But last thing we talked about the writer's strike, and of course the actors. SAG-AFTRA has allowed an additional 10 days as of I think Saturday. So July 12th is the new deadline. But Lori and I have been covering Comic-Con. Wormhole Writers has been going for 15 years, and it's going to be a different Comic-Con. And I'm seeing, Lori and Alex, I'm seeing a lot of chatter about actors who could be impacted by the strike, that they're going to be in a place called the Sales Pavilion. Are you a Comic-Con goer? Are you going to go to Comic-Con? Because they're talking about going and interacting with their fans.
Wow. I mean, I would love to go to Comic-Con. I've always wanted to go to Comic-Con. I haven't been able to go ever. The one time I was supposed to go, something happened. A family emergency. I had to go back to the East Coast, so I missed it, but I would love to go, especially in the world of Mayans and Sons, and kind of ride that wave. But it would be a dream come true. Plus, I'm a big fan of Marvel and X-Men, and growing up, I was always told I got to play Kurt Wagner from Nightcrawler from
Yeah.
X-Men. So I could dress up. I could show up at Comic-Con and hopefully stir some things up there.
That would be cool. You'd get stopped left and right with pictures and everything, things like that. That'd be awesome.
I love that. You guys are going?
Yeah, it's actually
Cool.
July 19th through the 24th is this year's.
Mm.
And I remember in 2018 when the first Minds panel was there, because we go as press, so we have a certain access to get into like Hall H is there and all of that stuff. So I was like literally probably one or two of the only press people in the press pit for Mayans for the very first one. So it was kind of cool
Wow.
because I was able to say, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. And then
Right.
as I've been in all the subsequent one, like last year, I remember when the announcement of the 5th season was there, which was great, and almost the entire cast was there, which was awesome. So it's been a ride. And as a writer myself and a director and an actor, I'm solidarity with everybody, because it's, the whole AI thing is just getting out of hand, and I can't even think about it. But yeah,
Right.
definitely. And hopefully you'll get to go one of these days to Comic-Con, not only as an actor, but as a fan. I think that'd be great to
I hope so. Yeah, I would love to. It's really
walk around
special.
and enjoy it.
Especially you've gone since the beginning, so that's awesome. Of Mayans,
Yeah.
I mean.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, I go back to almost the very first. This is the 54th, 53rd year, Lori.
I think
Wow.
so, something like that.
I go back to not quite the first year, but it was like the second or third year in Comic-Con. Okay, you know what a 7-Eleven store looks like, right?
Of course, yeah.
And the size of it. Comic-Con was started in a store about that size, and all
Oh
it
my
had was
God.
a few comic books and a few
Wow.
comic book writers, and it's really come a long way. But for those fans, if you're interested in going to Comic-Con, but you couldn't get tickets, and of course they're hard to get, if you're an exhibitor or an actor, you can get tickets easier. But if you're just a person that loves this stuff, there is as much happening outside the convention center on the ground.
Yeah.
And for exhibitions, as there are for panels. And this year is going to be very interesting because other than a couple of studios that are going to be there and I'm not going to go down the whole list, all the major studios aren't going to be there that we've covered.
Yeah.
And there's going to be, we expect, I'm seeing a ton of chatter, and I've talked to some actors and directors and writers. So they're going to be there as themselves. And Lori, I imagine we're going to see them roaming through
Probably.
outside and everywhere. So, well, Alex, we want to thank you very much for joining us today. This has really been revealing. We wish you the best of luck in your career, and we love bottles. That's all I can tell you.
Thank you. It's been awesome to meet you guys, Ken and Lori. Thank you for having me on and
Thank you.
chatting, and I'm excited too. I'm excited for the last 3 episodes. Yeah, baby.
All right,
See what
Alex,
happens.
take care.
All right, you guys too. Thank
too.
you.
Thanks.